Alright guys, this is the fans Q&A segment of the 2022 Singapore Premier League season preview. If you watched the full preview, you'll be familiar with the guests I have alongside me. Without wasting much time, let's get stuck into the fans' questions right away. This one's from Nazif. Deepan, I'll come to you first. Which of the other clubs are capable of challenging LCS and Albrecht's Niigata?
Has to be Hougang United. I think we covered that extensively in the preview, but Hougang United, simply because I think they've got the best squad outside the first two clubs.
Fair enough, and I think all of you agree, right?
Yep.
Hougang Albrecht?
100%.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a part 2 to this question. You all think you all can get away easy. There's a part 2. Which other team will be the surprise of the season? Also from Nazif, this one.
Surprise of the season.
Give me one each, starting with Kide.
Young Lions.
Ooh.
Yeah, Young Lions, I guess. Well, surprise in what sense?
Rosh
also?
is just completely
surprisingly
broke at this
bad
point.
or
surprisingly
good
Either
or-
way.
No.
Either way, that's why.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even think about it that way, but yeah.
Okay lah, I'm just going to go Young Lions.
Young Lions.
Balestier for me.
Okay, okay. Balestier in a positive way?
Yes, positive.
Okay. Okay, moving on for the second question from CFA underscore, I don't know, account number or what. CFA underscore 0004869. Given Lion City Sailors' foreign signings, do you guys think a mandatory marquee slot is needed to improve the league? Khairul, to you first.
I don't think you don't need a mandatory marquee. I think the direction has to be that clubs, if they think that they want to go to the next level, build your brand, build your membership, build your equity, and then get sponsors and investors in, right? Then that is the way to go, right? And then if all clubs decide to do that, then naturally the competition will rise up.
So just to touch on that, I think what Khairul is saying is you don't need a system like that to bring in players. So I was having a conversation with one of the clubs here in Singapore, and actually one of the clubs here was talking to a former Portuguese striker who played in the Euros that Portugal won, and they were talking to sponsors to try and help them get this player in. So it is possible without a mandatory marquee scheme. So you can talk to sponsors and you can get the right people in and then bring in these star players. So
It's a norm. When Barry Maguire was playing for VVV in Holland, so that was it. A sponsor paid his salary. So clubs could look into this angle to increase the
I think at the end of the day, the
players.
onus has to be on the clubs. It cannot be brought down by the FA.
association.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
association.
yeah,
You know, the associations are it's a start-stop gap measure, right? So it's not something for the long term.
And we had it before, no? We had I think Toda, Monsef Zerka, these players came in. And to me, my question has always been, who decides what is marquee? You know, who is there a committee that is formed and says, okay, this guy is marquee and this guy is not marquee? It's quite a difficult
Grey
scenario
area
to. It's a grey area because I may think that a certain player is marquee.
Maybe the lead on special projects can take charge of that too.
Maybe it could be a special project, but yeah, I think it's hard to ascertain what is marquee and not.
Yeah,
So
no guarantee also, right?
yeah, no
Toda
guarantee.
end up playing like drink toddy.
No point hogging the headlines and then, yeah, I agree.
he was playing with
He
you.
took your position.
No.
is it?
No, he was after me. I don't
After
know,
you,
yeah.
So
yeah.
no personal beef when you...
No lah, of course not. lah. No, I just mean like you
Yeah, it's
know,
true, it's
what
true,
what
yeah.
y'all are saying, I completely agree with.
Martin
you know,
Wagner was marquee player, no?
Who?
Martin Wagner, the Tampines player,
yeah.
who didn't do well as well.
Yeah, so like there's
So
no there's no
more misses
guarantee.
than
I don't
hits.
really remember.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot that you don't remember who it is. Moving on to the third question, Sivan John has said, we've had some discussions in Malaysia about the possibility of a merger between the Malaysian League and the Singaporean League.
This is over and done with. We shouldn't be talked about anymore at all. Right? I think this Malaysia Cup, all this Malaysia League is really done. We have to build our own brand. We have to build our own league for our national team to improve.
Sorry,
That's
but just want to play devil's advocate. Why are we so against having Singaporean clubs and Malaysian? So we are not talking about one-off Lions 12. Even though I love Lions 12, but that's for another topic. But why not
You are
have
part of the problem.
why not have Hougang and all these clubs play together with the MSL
No, but
clubs?
who is against it? Nobody against it, what?
No, but do you think it's a good idea?
I think it's a damn good idea on paper.
I mean,
Yeah,
in
because
that
I
sense,
clubs is
yeah.
okay.
If
Like a cup
across-
competition,
if you
not
keep-
replace
yeah.
the league, right?
Not replace the... No. I think if you merge the league and you had like Malaysia got how many? 14
12.
12 teams.
12,
Singapore got 8.
That's perfect, 20.
20 or you, I don't know, maybe you will remove
Young Lions.
Lions and Albrecht or whatever. I don't know, whatever the logistics are behind it. I think it'd be a damn good idea. Because at the same time, because I think it will generate a lot of excitement. You will finally create rivalry. Because I don't know if we have a genuine rivalry in Singapore, whereas you have in Malaysia, you have state rivalry and things like that. And I think it make a really good product for TV, and I think people would pay to watch a league like that. I know I could be wrong. I don't have the marketing numbers, but I imagine that you could actually turn it into a subscription thing, right? And I mean, I like the idea, but at the same time, it's been tried before. It hasn't worked for whatever reason. Malaysia have their own plans. Singapore has their own direction that they want to go into, and
The feasibility stuff.
the feasibility. I like the idea of it, but whether it would actually work.
The idea works because of the unique dynamics of the Malaysia and Singapore ecosystem. That's all. Yeah. If we were to speak about, we have a French or a German league to combine, I think it's no, something. But because of the nature of how we are, I think it can work, right, commercially, and then it helps with the development and stuff.
Yeah. And can you imagine JDT against LCS, for example, having those derbies and having even Kedah, Selangor playing against, I think it would be great exposure for Singaporean players to go and play, and you actually will properly feel like you're part of a
league
that is like, a league
vibrant,
like 20 teams. You don't need to play 4 rounds, you can play 2 rounds.
I mean, the excitement of having DPM,
4 rounds, 80 matches.
having DPMM in the league also already brought some excitement because there was travelling.
Yeah, exactly
Right?
that.
So
There was a
because-
proper away day
Away,
experience.
yeah.
Even for the fans, the fan culture and everything.
And honestly, you mentioning JDT LCS already got me excited. I would even watch it as a pre-season friendly, boy.
No, listen, I would definitely get behind this idea. It is something I've even spoken about previously as well in years gone by, but who takes charge? Is it a FAS, FAM thing? Is it a privatized?
And at the
league
end
on
of the
its
day,
own?
both structures are so brittle to come together. They are too brittle on its own, and then now to come together. So it will take a lot of work on every end. Yeah.
Steven John, I think the question you submitted is actually a whole podcast in itself. So thank you for that. I need to rein these guys in a bit. Moving on to question number 4 from Azri. With LCS stepping up by hiring Kim Do-hoon, signing quality foreign players and having big financial power, are we likely to see other teams stepping up in response and in turn causing the league standards to increase and local talents to get better over the next few years? Basically, the question is asking, how long before other teams start matching what LCS are doing?
I think it's going to take a couple of years. You look at Hougang, I think they are the best example of what you can do with smaller resources, basically. I think if you follow the right methods in terms of recruitment, getting the proper coaching staff, you can sort of match, not match sailors, but go close to matching them.
And you have to take note, where was Hougang before 2017? Yeah, and where the other clubs have been more established, like Tampines and Geylang, they have been more established. But Hougang recently, in the last few years, they have shown that this growth and this progress has been consistent, and they're getting there and gotten some results against LCS even last year. Yeah.
So apart from the structure, money needs to come in, right? Do we see like Forest Lee stepping into?
It's difficult to get another Forest League to come in.
He's the richest
it's
richest
very
company in
obvious
Southeast
level.
Asia.
But we can attract other investors or a group of investors to come in to not match LCS as what you said, but get close as much as we can to what LCS
So
has
the
done.
trick to that is to ensure that your club is attractive enough for people like these to come in. So
And it's not far-fetched,
Yeah, it's not
because
far-fetched at all,
because we talk about who's going to invest in Singapore football, what's going to... But we do hear when Warriors was in trouble, there were 3 parties getting ready, lining up to take over, but it didn't happen. Yeah, so there are people who are interested for business reasons or for commercial reasons or for other reasons that tax on their main company. Yeah, so
sorry, one point I have to note is we talk about what's happening on the pitch and we talk about all these signings and all. But what sailors have done off the pitch has also transpired into knock-on effects for other clubs. You look at Balestier and what they're doing with their social media. It has not come about because of a sudden reaction. It's come about because they see what sailors are doing, and sailors are doing well with the social media.
see the value in
they
it.
see the value in it, and then they are hiring
Right
people
people,
just to manage social media. So I think it's a good move what sailors are doing, and I hope all the other clubs around, because let's be honest, Geelang's social media leaves a lot to be desired. Can they maybe look at what Balestier is doing, Sailors is doing?
nobody is doing the Valentine's Day message.
Yes.
Again, with social media, I think it needs to be incremental. You cannot overnight revamp completely, right? It's a small place to start, and then that will have a knock-on effect on the bigger structure of the clubs. Just quickly bringing to the flip side, this question is from David Bujara. Sort of linked to what Azri has asked, but are LCS going to survive long-term with the amount of spending and little income with their spending force and also creating an unsustainable football club? Rosh, do you think LCS will survive in the long term?
I think so. Why is it unsustainable?
Because the point Bujara is making, David Bujara is
I
making.
don't know where
not
he's
mine.
coming from. No, I mean,
No,
I mean,
his point is the point he's trying to make is the outgoing money is a lot more than the incoming money at this point. So how long will that model survive? From a business perspective, you want.
I guess you got to start somewhere in a sense. In that sense, he's got to. They have to start at some point, right? And then maybe eventually they start getting sponsors, they start getting tie-ups with this, that, and the other, and that has that knock-on effect. They're doing well domestically. Maybe they make a dent on the continental stage. Maybe they are able to sort of sell sponsorship, advertise, whatever social media plans that they have. You know, in those situations, they have to start somewhere, and there has to be some kind of growth. Maybe they sign these players on big long-term contracts and they sell them off eventually. You know, there's resale value with some of them. I don't know what their longer-term plans are, but I don't see it as being someone who come in and is bored and then he's just going to retract. I mean, there's always that danger something could happen to him, but he's a multi-billionaire, right?
Yeah.
In that sense. And I think what the structures that they have put in place doesn't signal to me that this is some fly-by-night kind of short-term kind of thing.
And I've been involved in with them, right, in recruitment of players and all, and they are not a Middle East club, or they are not a China kind of club where I can dangle the money in front. They are not. They're very careful with the money. They are very careful, and they will negotiate to the last dollar. Right? Yeah. So that's how they've been very shrewd, and I think in fact I gain more respect over the years, because then I realized that this is possibly how he runs his business as well.
Okay.
We know that this is not a toy for him. Lion City is actually a project that he's really serious in, and he's willing to put in his money there. Of course, we know China companies have crumbled before, but at the same time, we know that this guy is really serious about this project, right? He doesn't want anything from it. If I were to put it, he really wants to develop. Nobody would put 10 million into a training ground.
Yeah, academy, and they're talking about potential stadium on their own and all that. So it doesn't
I think
sound like...
to answer David's question, I would say this, that sometimes it's not all about the money. I think there are other effects that you can look at. Sailors have transformed the local football community, I would say. You can see a lot of newer fans. I mean, we talk about last season, over the last few games at Jalan Besar, I saw newer fans, and these are middle-aged Chinese Singaporeans
and it's not
coming
as
in
if
to watch.
he started it today or yesterday, because he's been doing it since Garena, right? So Garena was sponsoring Young Lions and all. So this is not a short-term project, because if we were to say the money were to dry up in 2 years because we're spending like this, but Garena has been on 2 million a year.
Not sure if the question came from David or Venga. Check properly.
It's David Bujara, I can confirm, but he could be using
But no, I think it is the thing with, for when people ask these questions and all that, I think when they see suddenly it's like signing Kim Shin-wook, signing Maxime Lestienne, there's this, wow, there must be like overspending.
But at the same time, the world climate is such that the China clubs have been struggling. So maybe
Yeah,
I think
there's
he's not
also-
local, right?
From my interactions, I've seen him on Twitter before. I don't think he's
local.
local.
So maybe he has that perception that it's just going to be another bubble.
Fair enough. Moving on to another question by
That was,
Aerocode.
move on quickly.
I think
like it.
it's another podcast topic. Aerocode _ interesting name. All clubs getting privatized or adding more local clubs to the league? Which is the way to go? All 8 clubs getting privatized or adding more local clubs to the league, i.e. the return of Warriors, Woodlands Wellington, Sembawang Rangers.
I think he has to start somewhere. I think for now, adding one more club who is privatized will be good, right? And then after that, there will be a knock-on effect. Another new club will come back, and then slowly we'll build it up again. It's difficult to really pinpoint.
The privatization has to come in as well because of I think there's some AFC licensing regulations and things like that involved with it, where the league itself has to be separate from
the
FAS, from
okay.
the FA. So then they have to find a way to get the clubs as well to and I think that's the way forward for me.
Yeah. But for me, if we're talking about an immediate, at a snap of a finger, I think we should look into privatizing the 8 clubs, then we build on.
Okay.
That's to me the best process. Then we get quality, we solidify, and then we grow.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Khairul-san. So I think a lot of people like to talk about adding new clubs into, but to me, what is the purpose? Do you want a club just to have nine teams? Then I don't think it serves a purpose, because you look at Tanjung Pagar when they came in the first season.
Quite exciting, eh?
Yeah, it was exciting for a bit, but like after that, you question, what is the purpose? Are they just there to make up the numbers?
Yep.
And we don't want that. So I agree with Kairu's answer. I think in terms of privatization, that's the way to go.
Okay, Erracode, I hope you got your answer. Moving on to the second last question here. We spoke about it at length in the full preview, the under-23 ruling and the change we are expecting in 2022. So go ahead and check that episode out. But first, which under-23 local player does the panel think will have a breakthrough season?
Wow, I don't know, man.
One name per panelist.
I don't know because it's a long list of under 23 players. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head. I gotta be honest. Unless I had a list of players.
Maybe
here.
I'll start. One player who I really enjoyed last season was Fatullah. He was tremendous.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I did not know a single thing about him before I saw him play.
agree,
Usually under 23 players, you would have heard of them, you know them, or you've spoken to them before. But Fatullah was completely new, and he took me by surprise because the maturity that he showed in his gameplay was beyond his years. And he was playing, in a team that was full of these experienced guys, Farid Hamid and so on. So I hope to see more from him this season. I think there is another level to his gameplay. I hope.
But I hope they are careful also because last year was a breakthrough season, and usually the second season is the toughest season for
to
new
maintain
players.
that.
It happened with Haris Kanadi as well.
yeah.
During the one season that he was really tremendous. I think the COVID season 2020
must be,
was really good. But last year he was, I think he was burned out. He was playing every game, every single minute he was starting. So we got to be really careful with younger players, especially.
I'm hopeful that Iman comes good.
Iman Hakim?
Yeah, Iman Hakim comes good. Yeah, I'm hopeful.
Ong Yuen is another player to look at as well.
I mean, if you're talking about breakthrough, there has to be someone who's
Under
out
the
of
radar,
nowhere.
right?
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's very hard to
Stepping
be
on the scene,
off the
right?
radar. Yeah.
I mean, there's a name that I heard amongst Tampines ranks, Ethan Pinto. I don't know. I haven't seen much of him, but apparently he's quite highly rated there. They've promoted him to that
Deepan
one.
will
He
put
was-
his ear to the ground.
No,
find
so
out,
I
and
watched
there we go.
Tampines play against Albrechts in the friendly.
And he played.
He started alongside Kyoga and Zerudin in midfield. Did not look out of place. So,
wow.
but again, it's a friendly, right?
yeah,
so
yeah,
in terms
Yeah,
of
so we'll
intensity-
see. So he could be a potential name to
Yeah,
keep an eye
yeah,
out on.
yeah.
I would be proud because I coached him for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
But really, I didn't know that he was at the stage where he's breaking out
Yeah.
well.
He's,
at
yeah.
Tampines.
So, Ethan, if you're listening and you're planning to sign a 5-year contract with Tampines and everything, call your ex-coach first. Moving on swiftly to the final question from Javir9. With the Suzuki Cup coming at the end of the year, who is the one player that is going to impress this season and earn a place in the squad? Someone who wasn't in the squad.
Suzuki
last
Cup
year.
again.
We'll start with Khairul. One player
Wow.
This is
who wasn't in the
difficult.
squad last year.
Can we move to someone else?
Rosh?
Not in the squad, eh?
Not in
Not
the
in the
squad.
squad. So again, we're looking for a breakthrough star here, but doesn't have to be under 23.
Can it be someone who has been part of the squad before, but
Was
wasn't?
not in the
I
not
call
in the
Javir and find
not
out.
in the
Oh, I
not in the
know.
previous Suzuki Cup squad.
Not in the previous Suzuki Cup squad. So technically, yes, as long as he wasn't in the 2021 squad, even if he's making a return
Who
to the
was
national
dropped,
team,
right?
it
What
counts.
do you all think of Lionel, guys?
Lionel
Central
Tan?
defense. You think there's a position for him there? Not good enough?
Nah, I
Not
don't
really?
think
I think
he's-
with Safwan and
with
Irfan,
Safwan,
it's very
no,
difficult for
difficult.
him.
But maybe
To
in
be
the
in the
squad,
squad.
In the squad, yes.
in the squad as you know,
Yeah.
maybe he
Lionel
could be
Tan?
one.
But,
I mean, I'm just
but
throwing a
if,
name
if
there.
Haris is playing back again,
Which I think he will be,
then
yeah.
it's going to be tough again.
I'm just going to throw a name. I mean, again, it's someone who's been part of the national setup before, and it's Shafiq Ghani. Fleetingly, we've seen him play well. I think he's got a left foot that not many
Yes,
have.
yes. I think he's the only one with
Yeah,
that.
set pieces wise, I think he's.
Zulfahmi Arifin, your left foot also not bad.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Shafiq
I mean,
Ghani,
but
yeah.
Shafiq Ghani is more of it's a 10. I remember the 2015 year when we had the SEA Games
Yeah,
here. A lot was said
Nadia
about
Liao.
him. Sorry, but he was someone who didn't get the opportunity at that time. I mean, because of injuries and whatnot. But Shafiq Ghani is one, and just to bring back the Lions turf element. Sahil
are
was
part
a
of the
player.
problem again.
Yeah, I'm part of the problem, obviously. But Sahil was a player who excited Lions turf
And I
fans.
think these are the players you mentioned are who were, just to be factual, who are out of shape or injured or not really on form, right? But I think on their day, they could really make a difference.
Joel Chu lah. Another one.
Joel Chu wasn't in the squad. I like the look of Idraki because I thought Idraki Adnan showed great ability before he
I
unfortunately
think
succumbed to
I
an
think
injury,
Idraki
right?
would take a bit more
So
time.
if Idraki, you think he'll take some time to come back from injury?
to come back.
Okay. Perhaps you got 8 months to prove Kide wrong. Good luck, Idraki. Anybody else? Any other names? I like Joel Chu.
Any other names? Trying to think now, but a bit caught on the spot.
Yeah, this is
So
Okay,
need to
okay.
go back and have a think about this.
Okay, and just to wrap things up, we have a final few questions. This one is from the final whistle. Who you think will be your Golden Boot winner in 2022? We'll start with Deepan.
Has to be Kim Shin-wook.
Kim Shin-wook.
I'll be shocked if it's not him.
Yeah, I would think so.
He
as
should
well.
score one
Yeah.
goal a game.
Yeah, it's him.
Who else?
Taranarili, Zuzul.
Zuzu.
Emireka.
American, I don't think so.
Not top
F-
scorer.
fa-
Not top
Sorry, I'm going to
scorer.
put Cairo on the spot. You don't think Hougang Brazilian striker,
He's a different type of striker.
you don't
Yeah.
think he's someone who can score
He
goals?
will score. But I think he will score as much as he will assist.
Do you think Moritz, he'll be playing like attacking midfield, but do you think he's like got that Perez ability in him in the sense that Perez, you remember Perez Oliveira,
Yeah.
who played in midfield but scored like 30 goals one season? Has he got the potential to do that? Maybe.
Maybe,
I don't know.
yeah.
Look, listen, I'm going to go with Chinook, Kim Chinook.
So that's 2 for Kim Shin-wook,
But,
Same to me.
3 for Kim
yeah,
Shin-wook.
but I'm just throwing out possibilities in
Come on,
terms
Cairo, you
of
got to give us
other-
a different one.
Maxime Lestienne.
Oh, to finish top scorer, Maxime Lestienne.
Actually, that's a great shout, man. Actually, yeah, that's a great
I
shout.
think Kim should be a perfect foil for him.
Yeah.
You might have want to save the answer because my next question is one foreigner that will have a big season. One foreigner.
Well,
Don't repeat the Golden Boot answer, please.
I love the look of Vincent Bazacourt.
There's a call.
No, Vincent.
I mean, just based on videos, but the pedigree he has also, I think, is something to talk about. If he can link up well with Zuzul, I see him having a very good season.
It depends on how Geylang perform as a whole.
Yeah.
I would go for Pedro, as in
Okay.
Hougang striker.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he would add a lot of dimension to how Hougang is going to play. Again, I agree with Hairul. I don't think he's going to be the top scorer, but he's going to be scoring as much as or as many as he assists. He's a little bit like Firmino, I think. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it to him.
Is in a thief or what?
Your foreigner to have a big
I'm going to
season.
steal his Lestienne one and take that and use that as mine.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm using myself thinking of him running against the fullback in the league, and again it's because of the difference in level that he's coming from and where he's going to be playing here. Yeah, I think he will have a big one
Okay.
and enjoy himself.
And the final question is one local player that will have a big season.
Hey, wait, did you give your answer for the foreign player?
Maxima?
Oh, was that your golden
No,
boot?
that was Golden Boot.
Golden Boot.
Yeah. Actually, he thought he lepas already, no?
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can go with Maxime as well, huh?
Yeah, I can go Maxima.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I think he will really light up the league.
Okay.
He's exciting.
okay.
He's exciting.
I think he's one of those signings that's gotten social media very excited. So it'd be good to see him actually bring that pedigree to the local league. and-
It's one local underrated player, no? That was the question.
Yep. One
What was the last
local
question? Sorry, what was that? I
one
interrupted. My
underrated
apologies.
local player that you think will come to the fore.
Underrated.
Underrated.
Underrated is hard, lah.
I don't know about underrated, but I felt one player who was disappointing last season was Shawal Anwar in terms of his output. I think he got 3 or 4 goals last season. I think this season he will have better support from midfield. So I'm looking forward to Shawal, getting more goals. Another player, also Hougang player that I hope to see more from is Zulfahmi Arifin. Let's be very honest. He did not have a Suzuki Cup that a lot of people spoke about in glaring terms. He was disappointing. I think he will admit that. But a lot of it was down to where he played. We look back at his last season in the Singapore Premier League. I think that was the 2019 season
Where he was the captain.
where he was the captain. I might be wrong, but he had at least 7 assists that season. Most came from set pieces. So again, he's one of those players that I think has what it takes to really perform at a high level. You only need to go on YouTube and see what he has done in terms of his ability. To me, and this might be a hot take, he's the best passer we have in Singapore in midfield. I think, my personal opinion. In terms of range, I'm talking about. He can spray it long, he can play it short as well. But what's missing is the work rate in midfield. But I
Better
think
passer than Shadan?
I think so.
Range, I think.
Wow.
Range-wise.
But I think overall,
Choices
Choices of
is
passes.
Sadan.
Yeah.
But the range of the pass, I think, is him.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think so. So I maybe Karo agrees with me. But I think he's going back to a club where there's a good environment in terms of coaching. Firdaus and Clement will get him.
and UK.
Yeah, and of course the Japanese assistant. I think Zulfahmi has a big season ahead of him.
I would think it's Shafiq Ghani.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they are at the age where they are almost retiring, or if they are not gonna do well this season, they might go to a lower club.
Yeah.
So they want to perform and keep their place at Hougang especially, and I think they are motivated to do it, and he has the ability to do it. I think talent-wise, he has a lot of talent. It's just getting the right mentality to do it, and then be clear and free of injuries. Yeah,
Shahril is still at Hougang as well.
yeah. But I think Shari has a different role already.
Roshan?
Yeah.
Underrated player?
Underrated.
Underrated
What is
lah.
underrated. I don't know. I find it
Underrated
difficult to
lah.
underrate.
No need underrated lah. Just say.
Okay, one local player.
Underrated.
Who you think will have a big season? I'm happy to.
Is Amy underrated? Amy at Hougang? I don't think so, right?
Nah,
National
he's-
team, right?
he's already
got the
there.
headlines. last year.
Ryan Sanizal, centre back. Maybe he has a good season. Is he underrated? I don't know. I mean, he's kind of just breaking through, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know whether he's rated or underrated. I don't know, man. Do you want to go first? I don't know. Underrated.
I don't know if people share this opinion with me, but I think we all saw Haris at his best. The majestic centre midfielder, he could kill any defender and midfielder in the region. But when he came back, when he played at centre mid, I felt that after his injury also, I felt
And
that he
COVID,
hasn't been 100%. Right? Even when he was at the national team this year for the AFC Cup, AFF, he wasn't at his best. But I feel that this year he will be playing at the back, right? Knowing that he will be playing at the back, I think he will be back to his best, majestic, good run into the season, because I think it's the preparation, everything is ready. So I'm looking at Pedro and Haris centre back pairing that will really be really tight lah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's where I think, because Haris is up for another wave of his last 3-4 years career.
Yeah. I think that's a very hot take to see Haris come to the fore. All right, guys, just to wrap things up before we started recording, I asked all of you to write in an envelope your wildest prediction for 2022. So can
we
you
have to
just...
show?
No, we're saving the reveal till the season review show. So that will be whenever the season ends, after 4 rounds of matches. Hopefully we're all still friends. Hopefully we come back together for this chat and we'll revisit the wildest prediction. Khairul has promised to bring biryani for that.
Yes.
But whoever gets their prediction spot on will be supplying drinks for that, I guess.
Okay.
So please pass me your envelopes.
Wait, the
I
guy
will-
who gets his prediction correct has
Yeah.
to buy drinks.
Of course. What? What are the chances? How wild is your prediction?
This one, like, you go and buy Toto, you strike Toto, you got to pay everyone in Singapore.
Envelope, please.
Oh, mine is 1 in a million, man.
I saw Kides. It is 1 in a million. Guys, if you're watching, put in your wildest predictions in the comments below. The only way the league is going to get better is with excitement coming from you guys. We hope we've helped set the scene for the 2022 Singapore Premier League season. Thank you, Deepan. Thank you, Kide. Thank you, Rosh. Thank you, Khairul. We'll see you again for another episode of The Final Whistle. Continue to support us. Like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy the football.